This video is going to show the process for updating your Sony XAV-AX100. I've had the stereo for a few months. I have a couple videos, one showing the installation, the other one showing kind of some, or more like a 3-month review. And now I'm going to do the update. I've got my update file download on my USB drive, ready to go. The instructions on the website actually show how to actually do this for if you have a Mac or whatnot. Now, step one is to see if your radio needs the update. Okay, so I just turned my ignition on. We'll see how long this takes to boot up too. Maybe after doing the update, it'll boot up faster. We'll see. I have no real complaints about the boot up speed. But I know for some people it's kind of a selling point. I'll press OK. Now you're supposed to go to settings, and scroll down, and then make sure that your firmware version is not 1.02.06 or higher. So there's mine there, 101.02, where it says here shouldn't be 102.06 or higher. Okay, so mine needs the update. So we're going to go home and following the instructions, which I printed off, which I recommend doing if you're doing the update. Step one is to connect the USB drive to the receiver. So this is the USB connection for my radio. And I'm going to very clumsily, with one hand, plug this sucker in. Yikes. Okay, there we go. Okay, and the light's blinking, so it's obviously reading something. Okay, step two, turn off the receiver. So make sure that you hit that and you hit sources off. Okay, so source off. Then the next step is to hit the home button, go to general settings, scroll down to the bottom, go for firmware version, and then click update. Now I'm going to turn off my fan, and I have my headlights off. It is recommended that you put on a charger. So we're going to click update. And we'll let it go. Yeah, so like I was saying, it's recommended to make sure either your battery's fully charged and put a battery charger on it. I don't think you should drive your car while doing this. I think the best thing would be to just do it in your driveway. I just put a new battery in, so I'm really not too worried about the battery going dead, and this update's actually going really quickly. Okay, so it says update will begin, and the system will automatically restart several times during the update process. This is normal. Once the for-year safety screen is displayed, the firmware update is complete. Then obviously do not remove the USB drive while doing so. All right, so it's still updating. And once it's done updating, I'll see if there's any obvious differences. I have a feeling there won't be. But like I was saying in my other review video, there's some glitchy things with this system, and my wife's been kind of complaining that every now and then she gets this black screen where she's using Android Auto and the screen just goes black, and it doesn't revert back to the normal work operation until she resets the stereo. And by reset stereo, I mean she has to turn the car completely off, let it all shut down, turn back on. So it really frustrates her when she's trying to drive, she's using the navigation, and then all of a sudden the screen goes black. And she's in the middle of driving through the city or something like that. So I can see how that would be frustrating. Yeah, so I'm hoping that this update kind of fixes that. We just got new phones, and I thought maybe that would have been part of the problem, but she said it still happened to her once. So we'll see if this update helps with that. Another thing a lot of people complain about is the boot up time, how long the boot up time takes, and then also the pressing OK button every time you start the car. I don't think that the update will remove that press OK button. And if it does, that's great. But if not, I was reading online that someone's actually created a software update that includes some sort of software that will actually make it so the radio thinks that the OK button's being pressed at that point. So it basically skips it. A few people have said that they loaded that and it worked. So if after doing this update, if it still doesn't do that, I might try loading that software just to see if it makes a difference. So we'll see. Now this is taking kind of, well, a little bit longer than I thought it would. What I'll do is, if you've watched this long, before before I go on this rant, I'll make sure to put a little point of where you can click and fast forward to where the update's actually done. But we'll see how long this update actually takes. So it'll be interesting. 75%. So right now we're at about 6 minutes. The update's probably been going for maybe 4 minutes. Most people's car batteries should be more than fine for a short period of time. But if you think that your battery is at all having issues, then I would definitely recommend hooking up a charger, or if you have a booster pack, hooking that up just to give you that reserve battery power. Also, make sure your headlights are turned off and such. So if you're not sure where exactly you can get the update stuff, I just went to Sony's website and typed in Sony XAV-AX100 update, and right on their website they had all the information on like how I said, how to download and transfer the update. So, and also, if you have a PC or if you have a Mac, exactly what kind of USB drive you need. I think it said that somewhere. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it requires a 2 GB or larger USB storage device that meets the following requirements. Yada yada yada. Formatted using FAT32 file system. So you have to, with Mac, Mac has their own kind of formats for their USB drives. But basically, another thing is that it says 2 GB or larger, but I've found before when doing these kinds of updates on stereos that if you use a USB drive that's like 64 gigs or something like that, that the radios don't really like it. So this one that I have, how big is it? It is 4 gigabytes. 4 gigs. So I would definitely try to find one that's 2 gigs or 4 gigs or something like that and use that. And don't use one that's like 64 or whatever, 128 or whatever it is. Just because if you do, the radio just might not like reading that device for some reason. I don't know why. But definitely try to use something that, to the 2 to 4, maybe 8 gig max kind of size, and format it following the instructions. And yeah, but using the following instructions was pretty easy, and downloading everything was pretty easy. Now, another thing to note is that it says that some of the general settings will get erased, such as clock time, date time, stuff like that. Okay, so we are now rebooting, and let's see if that's going to be it. Looks like that's going to be it. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to hit OK. And let's go to settings. Oh. The beep is back, which is something my wife absolutely hated. Version 102.06. There we go. Oh man, it's going to be funny. My wife's going to get in the car and be like, why is it beeping again? I better make sure that's off. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to have to reset the time and everything. But it looks like the update's done. Nothing really looks different. And maybe what I'll do is I'll turn the car off. I can unplug that USB drive. And let's see how long the boot takes now. I have a feeling the boot will take about the same amount of time. I really wasn't expecting this update to really change anything drastically. I think it's just more to work out a few bugs that were in the system. And there we go. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my wife to, and it saved our Bluetooth information because our phone's still connected. So that's cool. I will, let's see. Yeah, everything's still there. Whoa. And my sister's calling me. I'll call her back in a second. Okay. So everything seems to be working. I'll still have to update a couple things like the time, but I'll try it. Maybe I'll do like another review after we've tried the update for a while. But that's a video just showing how to do the update. Very easy. And if you have any problems or any tips or anything like that, please leave them below.